Comfy, cozy, comfy.
Saturday morning with my cartoons.
So cozy.
Time I got she's fed and snoozed.
Say cozy.
Got 3 days till my rental's due.
So comfy.
Left my homework at school. Alright, PJs, check.
So cozy.
Mixing bowl of cereal, check.
Say cozy.
Toy commercial absorption memories, check.
So comfy.
Alright, boys, here we go.
16 bits of have mercy, y'all.
And welcome back to St. Kohzee Center for Comfy Nostalgia. As always, I have with me Kevy, the kid. Mr. Sloppy Joe.
But it's one of those big hats with the belt buckle.
Oh, big belt buckle. And I'm Bear. This week, we have a couple of different flavors of our games. Theocracy, a PC game. In the middle, we're going to talk about Thanksgiving, but maybe the way we were taught it in a roundabout way. And to close this out, we're going to play Nightmare Circus, a Genesis game that did not see wide release. Good morning.
Why.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Okay. Clear the board here.
Oh, my.
So a little bit about our first game. This took a lot of work on Kevy the kid's part to get functional. So
Yes.
if there are any, I mean, this could be a great thing, honestly, for the audience. If the game happens to fail, you will see various reactions from Kev. So that will then be turn into, we'll just give him a gush rating or something.
That was a 5 gush Kev
5
reaction
gush
right
Kev
there.
explosion.
Yeah. Kev explosion. Oh
Uh,
no! Yes, he did a lot of work to get this running. So we all appreciate Kev this morning.
Well, Joe, if this is what you have to do every time, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry.
Yeah. Yes, every time.
Every game.
Okay. Shall we, Kev? I've got you up.
Yeah,
now
yeah,
here.
absolutely. All right,
Well,
so
I
they
can
do
tell
give you a
this,
couple.
like, from the very beginning when we picked this game, I don't remember how exactly we fell into it, but I love the art. I love the box art, especially. It's so cool.
It's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, it definitely would have drawn me in, but I don't remember seeing this game at all. But it is
Yeah.
great.
Ditto. Like I would have remembered that box for sure,
Mhm.
but
Yep.
Yeah, and the whole
2000,
concept
right?
behind it,
2000?
yeah.
That's this.
2000.
2000? Yeah, I love games from this era, too. What do you call this kind of game, Kev? It's like a real-time strategy kind of a thing.
Yeah, this one's kind of interesting because it has turn-based elements, but it's also the combat is real time. So not games like Command and Conquer, probably the most famous RTS real-time strategy. The combat is real time, but the base building is basically the game is paused, which I prefer actually. So you can take your time fiddling around with settings and going deep into that bureaucracy that strategy players love. I mean, it is.
oh no, I forgot. Oh no, there's tax forms we have to do.
Yep. That's every time
Oh.
Tanya comes in and I'm playing a strategy game, she's like, "Oh, are you playing your tax simulator? Your game that just emulates lists over and over again that you click through?" Yeah, I love them. They're great.
Excel, yeah.
Excel the game.
The boys were playing this last night for testing purposes. Kev was testing stuff out. And whenever I hopped on and finally saw the actual game, I was like, that's a Kev game. I know those games. There's real-time strategy. Exactly the way Kev likes it, too, where he can take his time and do all the tax work. But there's like a battle element where it's happening in vivo, where you're controlling little battalions and things like that. That's a Kev game, if there ever was one. He loves these kind of games as a kid.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I still play one from my childhood on a regular basis, Total War. And that game is basically like this, where it's just managing your settlements and going through the lists, and then you get to go actually have the battle. When you feel like having a little action, take your weekend warrior day and go have a little battle.
Exactly.
So it's a little Civ. Would you say it's like a little Civilization mixed with like Command and Conquer, Age of Empires? Is that kind of the vibe?
A little
The
bit,
turn-based. Yeah.
The Age of Empire vibes are heavy with this one.
Okay.
I never actually played Civ. I tried to, and I didn't enjoy it.
I get
I didn't enjoy the cartoony nature of it. Like I want to see some blood on my screen. I don't want this.
Oh, some blood. All right.
All right, so there's a couple of different modes. Obviously, tutorials. Chronicles are like little mini map games that you can play, where you're just one group heading through some sort of trouble. And then Prophecy is the big boy game where you play the entire basically Mexico.
Right.
Okay.
From Central America almost up to the American border.
Oh yeah.
Oh, sorry.
One small note for the audience: there will be no audio in this game. We could not, or Kev was unable to get that part to work, but we've got the most important part. And Kev, would you also get one of the reasons that this game was chosen as well is because the synopsis, the main plot line is very interesting. So he's having a vision here of some people coming. So tell us about that.
The true story?
Oh no, just like the premise of the game, I guess.
Tekelowako, what was his name? Either way. Yeah, so the premise of the game is that this guy has a vision that one day this god king that they banished would come back in 100 years. And that's also true-ish to how it happened with the Spanish. And then I'll come back in 100 years, and 100 years later, he does come back. So that's the premise of this game, is that you're playing under that that prophecy. And you have 100 years to get your civilization before the Spanish show up and wreck everything.
Shit.
Spoiler alert, they do.
Hey, bro.
I don't know if you guys know this, but...
well, we can stop. We don't even have to play it then.
Yeah, game over.
Perfect.
Yeah, you're playing as one of these little baby tribes. I think you're bordered by the Aztec, which...
Yeah, this here, doing a little bit of game facts here. The player is the leader of the Atlan tribe, fictional tribe, to his escape from oppression under the Axocopans, and now must improve their tribe in order to survive in Central America.
However, not a single drop of rain fell. That's what it says at the end. Okay, yeah,
I love
this
the
is it. When I
three-quarters
see
view.
this view, I think Kev is playing this game, and I'll just watch.
Kev is this game.
Yeah, and this is... When I first popped in, I immediately got Age of Empire vibes and got a little excited because I played the hell out of those games.
Right.
This one's a little bit different, so I guess they're still trying to figure out this genre because there's no scroll wheel. I can't zoom in and out at all. My zoom is up here, which is kind of annoying.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
I still hadn't figured that bit out yet. But they do give you a broader view because managing your civilization, here's my ranch, definitely going to need some cows.
It does say send your slaves at the bottom.
Yes. They pull no punches. This was a slave-driven society. Central America and Mexico was a slave-driven society, so they pull no punches there. There are my little guys going off.
Oh, they're so
It is
orderly
great.
too. They're really lined up well.
Well, if they don't line up well,
They get sacrificed.
those are the ones. Ooh, hands a little bigger than the rest, huh? Well, get in the line.
it's the hand of God, son.
Okay,
have a
so I
monthly
see
production.
you're assigning slaves to various enterprise, and they're giving you monthly productions of items
Yes, absolutely.
based on how many slaves are there, or based on how many resources are there.
That's all based on how many people you can put in there. So you have this fishing hut, 7 slaves can live in it, and for 3 you get 2 fishy. It looks like a ham.
Yeah, so they start you with, obviously, I mean, do you have soldiers and stuff already as well? Do you have a soldier class at
Yes.
all? Okay.
Yeah, and for how long it takes to make soldiers, you have an absolute metric butt ton of soldiers. Let's see, because if I click on this guy, I can send a slave there, and in 120 days, I'll get 1 swordman.
Wow.
Yeah,
Oh, we'll send
that's
a
your
couple of guys to
4-month
the old.
slave to infantry training cycle.
And then I know you said it's turn-based. Kev, so I don't know if you could put a time on it, like a real world time of how long 120 days is. Does it really just depend on your play style and how long it takes you to do your in betweens? Like you're
Yes.
right now you're menuing.
So this is our map right here.
Okay.
And this is the only place I can control time. So I can make it go kind of slow. Unpause it. I mean, that's kind of slow, and then you can really blast that time.
That sentence made it sound like
I
you
love
plan
that
to control time outside of this. Of it, like you're eventually
Yeah.
going to learn. Like this is the
Trying
only
for
place I can control time right now.
decades. This is where I have control.
All right, so I got my production up. I forget how I look at there it is. There's
Wow.
Okay.
The stats. Here we go. Getting into the
right.
juicy part.
So I definitely need more food. Let's see what we got coming in. I need trash. No. Definitely need more food. Okay.
You got to take care of your own trash. Okay.
Take that trash out, apparently. Where's my farms? All right. Easy enough. Need some more slaves. Oh, 8's all I can do. That's right.
Ro, were you into this style of game at all? I know the boys played with you a lot, but I don't know if this was your flavor.
I know he plays Command and Conquer, so I know he likes real-time strategy games. I don't have any slaves left? Shit. That's not great. How many do I got?
The inner workings.
Clouds are going by. See that?
Yeah. Oh, that is a cool effect that they.
Oh, the clouds move.
Yeah.
Clouds move, and then just animating them running their little slave lives to wherever you're directing them.
All right. One of the most important parts of any base building game is the actual base building part. So, oops. Go away.
I can see we're
I know
at
you
the
can't
top
hear
of a hill, huh? I can see we have elevation as well.
Oh, yeah.
That's a
Yeah,
good
yeah.
spot.
They put you in a pretty good starting position. I love that menu sound because I know you can't hear it, but it's stone. It's stone sliding across stone. It sounds like a stone tablet being drug across the ground.
Perfect.
All right. So you have your different things we can build. I do love that this is one of the probably an early game where when you scroll over something at the bottom in the middle, it actually shows you what you're scrolling over instead of having to click on it to know what you're doing.
Oh, okay.
We
And
can't see that
yeah.
either, Kev. It's like bringing
Oh,
up
you
a
can't?
little window, you're saying?
No, down at the very, very bottom of the screen.
Oh, I do see it. Okay. Yes, I see.
Yeah.
And yeah, instead of like today, they would do a tooltip that pops up at your mouse, and I tend to find those very annoying because
Yes.
I'm looking at the thing next to it or whatever, and it's your text window has now covered it up. Yeah, I prefer this setup.
Although
Yeah,
I would
this
like for
little-
them when they do their text on their stone background to maybe lift it a little bit more. Give it
A little
more
pop a
Everything
little
is-
more.
pop it.
Everything is hard to read.
Everything.
There's nothing because it's just on stone.
You kids today and your voiceovers and your legible
And your
text.
papyrus.
Your fucking papyrus.
With your papyrus, we stone tooled everything.
Let's get some stonemasons. Where's my quarry? Put a little stonemason hatch. I got one slave. Gonna take 4,837 days to build it.
It'll take. I'm sorry. If you just put one slave on that job, it'll take him, a decade.
Yeah.
There he goes.
He's going,
There he
man.
goes.
He's carrying hoist that rag, brother.
Well, Ro, I'm sure Kev will have a report for you soon because I think he might get sucked into this one. Seems like it's got all the makings.
Yeah, I love when you zoom in too, Kev. It's really cool. They got all kinds of little stuff, birds and things.
The sound effects are cool. They're pretty. They're actually pretty soothing because it's just birds and little dudes making noises.
Yeah, I always love the little. They went the extra mile. You've got all the secondary stuff, the birds, got all these little scenes going on when you zoom in.
Yeah, like when I scroll past this guy, I hear him banging his little hammer across a stone. The slaves in the stone quarry. Ugh, bad place to be historically.
Yeah. It's what the prisoners
Look
do
how
too.
Yeah, look how large those like pickaxe things are at the stone quarry.
It's
They're huge. They're as big as they are. It's ridiculous.
strong, dude.
They
Strong.
are strong.
It's that functional strength.
All right. So the big boy map. Oh, there's the third view. The big boy map. So these are the big guys we got to worry about. These little independent ones are people we can take over. So this is basically the guy you're always going to take over.
Okay, so there are factions here, tribes here. Like the purple tribe
Yeah.
is pretty, surrounding us, and then looks like we could head east and get a pick off one, and then west and pick off one. Yeah, those two. Yeah. Does it alert you when you enter someone's territory? Do you know?
So the thing I hate the most is that the only way you can move to a different area is take this travel thing, and then you send whoever you want to travel to another region into the caravan camp,
Oh.
and then select where they want to go.
Okay. Okay.
Ooh, I got
I'm
4 more
okay with that. I
slaves.
guess you don't like that, Kev?
Not really.
You'd
I wanna
rather
just
like
be able to-
watch them like trek?
Well, I get the reason that they did that because the way they move, it's unbearably slow on a big map like this.
Yeah, I would say so.
It's so slow. And the pathfinding is atrocious, which I forgot how bad pathfinding is in old games because it's so bad.
Just walking
You
right
have-
into corners, right? And just
Yes, I forgot games like this. How many times I would spend all day building up this huge army, send them to the next camp, and thered be a bush in the way, and all my guys would get trapped behind one bush, except for half of them go up there, just get slaughtered. Then the other half would find their way and get slaughtered.
and then because they yes, StarCraft. That shit happened to me all the time in
Yes.
StarCraft. Yeah.
All right, so he's my big guy. My brother-in-law? Yeah. My foster brother. So he's a special character.
So he's a white guy that you brought on.
Is he redheaded?
He already had management experience.
Well, he, he's a rich guy, so he spends most of his time indoors, not in the slave quarry.
Of course. I mean, yeah, he's got all those bright, vibrant colors. We know what's up there. He's higher up for sure.
It's cool
Yeah, I'm
that there
picking
are
up-
named characters. That's kind of cool.
A little, yeah, kind of like hero class character.
Yeah.
All right, there is a way. Let me finish assigning my guys, and then we'll go try to take over that village over there. I got 4 more workers. They randomly populate here. Unsure.
So are workers different from slaves? Like, do you have to convert them to get them to be able to build stuff, or?
Yes, so that's what the school. Oh, that's what I need to do. That's what this school is doing. Is that
Okay.
I send these slaves over here to work, build the school. Once the school is built, I send slaves over there to become workers. Like these guys are going to be miners, these are
Okay.
builders. But the school is going to make miners because I only have 1 stone quarry, producing 1. All right.
Yeah, that foster brother. I don't know about that, huh, Andrew?
And I know there's a way to group these guys, but
Yeah, look at him pile up. Look at him just like a
Yeah.
real crowd of modern day people.
A mob.
Oh, I guess this is the line. And they just pile up in a parking lot.
Okay. They look like they're pissed when they move.
Out in the heat.
Uh-oh. Got a straggler. Oh, there's a leader. Okay, I see. So we're gonna go take on the neighbors?
Yes.
Kill the
I have
neighbors?
1 commander. But there's a way you can put them into like battle formations and all that kind of shit, but I never quite remember how to do it. I got it to work 1 time. Him? No. Who the fuck is this? Get the fuck out of the goddamn battle line.
Got a
Fat
traitor in
bitch.
there? Just wanted to pretend.
Was it my main guy? No. All right, whatever. Guess what, everybody?
Going to
Time to
war.
go.
Go to the teleporter.
Basically.
What is this? Is this just an idol, some kind of religious idol statue here on this pad? Yeah, that
The
guy.
circle of birth. Here you find your newborn and newly educated people.
Okay, right. That's what you were talking about.
Yeah, let's see if I have anybody extra. I don't.
God, yeah, that guy's back is broken. Look at it. Even the icon is like, fucking just the weight of the crushing weight of the world.
Oh, you
I was gonna
fucking-
say that
come
one
on.
guy. He's way far behind. Send that traitor in with him. You little shit.
One commander behind.
Maybe the commander does the. What
I already got in
tactics.
here.
Oh, okay.
Oh, his little one of those guys' little icon. He kind of looked like Cobra Commander, but maybe that's.
All right, so now I got my little caravan. And then we go there. And we go in there to murder. And then we speed up our time a little bit. There they go. Boop.
Murdering. Oh, neat.
Oh,
So, yeah, and each region has like its own little mini mission that you have to do.
Starts with a weather report. Chilly morning.
clouds in the afternoon make way for sun.
The breeze dishevels the hair of the warriors gathering at the foothills.
There you
at
go.
the foot of the 9 hills.
To steal llamas.
Occupy the llama houses.
Occupy Llama Street.
Okay.
And now, okay, so I get it. It's because it's a memory thing. They can't have all the maps. You can't just move your people from your map to the next map. That's what. Okay.
It's loading, yeah.
Yeah. So it was.
Oh, that looks tactical.
Ooh. But they start doing.
Yeah, I can
man.
put them in different formations, but I don't remember how the F to do it. Oh well. Just send everybody into battle. All right. Let's find a llama house.
You.
Basically.
Let's find
chart.
a llama house.
All right, here's a llama house. So where's the entrance to it? Right here.
Right. Yeah, I remember exactly that pathfinding you were talking about. You have to. Okay, I have to plan out my route because these guys. Oh yeah, like cut through the trees,
Scout.
get the cover. Yeah.
Oh, that's just a bird. Left click to drop people.
We're cutting you loose. Get out of
All
here.
right.
Look
You
at
guys
us.
all attack this one dude.
So there's my scouts. They have a hilarious run.
Yeah.
Look
high
at
knee.
that.
Uh-oh. We got it. Oh,
get outta here.
Scout just took it.
Well, that was a scout.
Scout down. Scout down.
I'm gonna lose most of these guys.
Okay, so there's spear. They've got spears and bow and arrow.
Hey, you got a bow and arrow guy after you now.
Yeah, it looks like they have two. Well, it looks like your guys have those
Oh.
too.
Now I can group them.
As one.
So this brings up.
Yeah, I agree, Andrew. That's a great way to get around it. Because they make each section have its own little story. Oh.
Looked like that guy walked up to him and
Yeah.
he died. So powerful. It's, you're right. I'm dead now.
What? There we go. Now we're all grouped up. All right. I've already lost a lot of guys. This is
I'm
not
gonna say it's a much thinner group now.
a lot of guys are dead
We
already.
had to shed some of our, lesser warriors.
Are you kidding me? You
I didn't want to ask while you were in the heat of battle there, Kev, but so do you have melee and ranged? Because I saw spears and arrows. going on?
Yes.
Do they just automatically swap or? Oh, okay, they are different.
Spearmen are medium range. Archers are long range. Swordsmen are obviously swordsmen. And then I got my special guy, my commander.
I see some experience as well. So I guess as they kill, I don't, and don't die, they grow in experience and then they upgrade eventually.
I don't know. I have not had one survive that long yet.
Okay, got it.
All right, so you arrange the. I don't know what the hell this is.
Looks like they put the spears up front and in the back, or surrounding,
good.
I guess,
Yeah.
the other guys.
The swordsman. Keep trying to zoom out a little bit, but it just
There
don't.
they are.
Go take this llama house.
Yeah, I love the scouts run. It's like
So
it's like a big tiptoe, like a big cartoon tiptoe.
It reminds me of the Monty Python silly walking
Yes.
group or whatever.
Those aren't warriors, I guess. They're just chilling there. They don't care.
Yeah, these are just slaves. I mean,
Oh.
we could take them out, but
Nah.
No, bring
No
them
point in
into
it.
the fold.
Can we
There.
enslave the slave?
oh, absolutely.
Reese.
Stealing slaves is classic antiquity
Slaveception.
move.
Classic antiquity move. We got to do that for the cut, Bear. I'm going to make a graphic. The classic antiquity move. Oh, that's a nice looking bridge you got there. It'd be a shame if someone busted it in.
It'd be a shame if my warriors went across it one at a time, as they're about to do.
Did we take that llama house? The other one?
Oh, yeah.
What
So it
does do?
switches. You just get a little blue icon on it.
Okay.
Yeah, they just go in and put your banners up, and you're like, this is ours now.
Yep.
You guys get back to work. You work for us now.
Okay, there's one warrior there. And so once you take over all the llama houses, this section of the map turns to your color? All right, he's going to meet one
Yes.
warrior here on the bridge.
There
We're
we go.
just talking.
Thermopylae.
Nope.
Let's go.
We're killing them.
All right. Get across the bridge.
I
Quickly
mean-
now. Quickly.
I don't think that was a very good tactical move on that guards part.
Get some dudes hidden in the bushes.
Oh,
Will they automatically defend themselves if they're under attack?
They will, but if they're moving, they'll do whatever thing I requested them to do while people are shooting at them.
Big battle. Big
Mm.
battle.
Luckily, these guys are kind of dumb and pretty much come at you one by one.
Oh, here come two more.
Here they are.
It's like they're trying to get past you to check on their friend on the bridge, and you're just like stabbing them as they walk past. Well,
Where have you been?
sorry, I was taking a piss.
God. All
All
right,
right,
so this is
llama
llama
house,
house.
here we
over there.
come.
Go take this llama house.
House, here we come.
Yes, please, one at a time. Walk up there if you could.
I'm glad I grouped you so that I can keep count of how many are walking one at a time.
Who's this guy? Ooh, a llama master.
A llama master.
You have to fight him, llama style.
The in boss.
That takes you to the secret llama level.
Oh, this guy looks fancy.
Yeah.
Oh,
Oh,
that's their circle.
I was
of
about to say.
birth.
Yep, looks like you're about to get a hold of the.
Burfin Center.
Yeah, method of production.
I do wish there was a way to speed up time in this map because,
Yeah, just for their travel purposes.
yeah, you always got to wait on a couple of idiots in the back.
Yeah, I am truly shocked. Some of the games that we've already played, and I know games that have been ported and you can run very easily on modern hardware. I'm so shocked that this game hasn't had any kind of conversion like that. We found a couple of things in our research, and for all we found, it seems to be abandonware at this point, that it's not under anyone's jurisdiction, and it would just take some intrepid programmers or enthusiasts to make this thing easier to run than what Kev went through, and maybe even get the music working. But it's crazy because this looks like a great game. It's put together really well. The mechanics look solid from what I'm seeing. It's got
Textures are good.
Yeah, super interesting story and plot.
Yeah, I did see a lot of people that are desperately wanting this game to have a true port.
Mm-hmm.
Apparently, like all these old games, it'll have a cult following, but this one seems to be pretty vocal of like, why is nobody? This is a great game. Why has nobody done anything about this?
Yeah. And I guess was made by Ubisoft.
Yep.
And so they own it. I guess it is their IP. It's just they don't give a shit.
Yeah, I mean, what could they possibly make? $500 off this game?
Yeah, probably. Yeah, it's not gonna.
I mean, what I don't understand is like if you're a Ubisoft or whatever, why not just like help me with the language here, but since there is a following for this game and the goal isn't to make it money necessarily, so it's not like you're going to be driven by a capitalist decision, but if there's a community of people that are willing to do the work, couldn't you as Ubisoft just give them the dev kit or whatever they would need, the assets they need to then make it easy for them to be able to port it and distribute?
Well, in theory, yes. If they still have any of that stuff, they might not have any of the source files left, which could be the big hangup of why they just don't care.
Okay, yeah, you're right.
But you're right. I mean, they have the power to do that, but I mean, I don't know if a big corporation like that would do it. And I've heard of smaller companies certainly getting involved and giving their fan base tools. Bethesda's big for that. I mean, they let fans kind of own the games as soon as they're released. That way they don't have to do any mods or updates. They do it for free.
There they go.
It's so funny to me again, like how different this game looks zoomed out as opposed to zoomed in. One guy back there. Oh, they're coming out of the trees.
They are. Into the trees. Charge the tree line.
Cut down that forest.
Well, you'll have this lone archer just sit there and pick off my dudes, and if you don't see that little flag,
I think they implemented that pretty well because yeah, you're right. It's like the perfect amount of awareness you might actually have. If you're not paying attention to the guy in the trees, you're not going to see him. But if you look really hard and you can find that flag, you're like, all right, there he is. Let me get this annoyance out of here. I like that element.
Yeah, there's some more. Oh, they're fighting.
oh, they got him.
Why are they running away?
Where are you going?
Yeah. And they're just running by them, too. They're not fighting.
Kill them. God in heaven. What? Yeah, pathfinding is a little difficult for these
They're, like,
small
stuck.
areas.
Yeah.
All right, I'm just going to send this one idiot. Go up here and get this llama house.
I wonder if his experience is going to go up as soon as he does. Let's see.
Get that spear, man.
Nope.
No.
I
So it
do
must
like
be-
that after you send him on a one mission, he goes back and joins the group.
That's true.
Yeah.
A lot of games from this era would have just stood there waiting for their next command.
Yeah. So they were again, we're talking about this as a solid game, and they're doing things at the time that would have been really great to see in a game for the first time. You're like, oh man, I wish StarCraft had this. This is perfect. My dude, I don't have to worry about losing. I sent a guy and I forgot he was over there.
Especially when the pathfinding is I'm guessing it's difficult. I mean, programming AI I know is difficult, so I'm guessing that because it still happens in modern games where NPCs get stuck behind bushes.
Right. And it takes and certainly when this was made, you have to balance processing requirements and speed, right? So if you had complex pathfinding for that many units at the same time, it could really tank your, start stepping or something. Which is probably another reason that they move as slow as they do.
Probably. You're probably right.
Yeah, I wonder later in the game when you get lots of warriors, does it lag?
I've seen some videos of some pretty huge battles, so I'm guessing it has to. But
Oh, here comes
one of the things I wish this one had implemented is the set up your battle line, because I have really no control over how they. Because I don't want them bunched up here. I want them right out here. And I clicked over here, but they just kind of randomly kill him. God bless America.
Okay.
Yeah, I know you haven't. I know you didn't get much time to actually get in the game at all, but I'm curious if in the options there's stuff like, auto attack or pause on enemy sight or things like that.
Yeah, these are my only commands down here. Stop, hold position, patrol.
Okay.
I feel like there might be some in that tree line here to your upper right, not that one. They were kind of like looking over there thinking.
There you're right.
Nice, Andrew.
Yeah.
Very Roomba-esque bumping around they're doing. Commander. Man, yeah, that's...
one dude, really? Haha. We've got the llama.
I've got the llama.
From now on, you can build llama lairs. Okay. I don't... The almighty llama.
Oh, is that where they put their clutches of eggs in their layers?
So this is the point where you get into the trading aspect of the game.
Oh, the llamas allow you to trade with other tribes?
Yes. How many guys did we lose? Not too bad.
Yeah, but they lost a
That's pretty
ton.
bad.
They lost 134?
Yep. Looks like it. I guess we slaughtered their slaves because they don't have any left. Oh my God, why would we do that?
Yeesh. It's a real harsh policy you got there, Kev.
Everyone dies.
So now are you expected to manage that village? Like build there and
so
stuff?
that's mine. That's mine now.
So like as you expand and start to take that stuff over, you're going to be spending time in each one of those, building them, and then this is super complicated then. That slave has no master.
So one worker. Okay. What's everything's like for this? Oh God.
Ooh, everybody's starving.
Get your ass over there mixing me some food.
Ooh.
In province stores, I guess that's our food backup.
Stockpiles, yeah. Are we looking? Is that enough? Not even close.
Oh my God, these needy people. Is this where you start? These needy people, they want food all the time. Oh, they don't have access to clean water.
And then I guess where do we know how many slaves we have left to divvy out? Where's the 48? Okay.
No, that's just how many I have.
Bunch, so.
Yeah. Okay, here. Unemployed slave.
Oh,
jeez.
That doesn't fit.
Kind of, yeah.
Wait, what's the symbol of the unemployed? Was it just sitting there?
Being a lazy ass.
Yeah, it's like sitting there in like a crisscross pose.
Well, at least it's implying like they're,
doing yoga.
Maybe spiritually doing something. Not just
enjoying their life. Yeah.
Yeah, right. I think at the top that's our date. I was curious about the amount of time that's passed.
Yes.
So when did we start? 1400?
I think. Oh shit! Has it already been 20 years? I ain't never gonna.
I don't. That can't be right then. That doesn't seem like nearly enough
Growing time.
gameplay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Seeing as how the whole reason that they lost to the conquistadors is because they relied so much on slaves, and all the slaves revolted and joined the Spanish. This is not going to end well. Do I have any more lazy slaves? Still got 10 lazy slaves. All right. Build something.
Slaves are on vacation.
All right, boy. Break's over.
And then when you were doing any practice, was there ever a moment where you were under attack? And like, how did it alert you?
No, I had not been attacked yet.
Okay.
This seems like, again, we're talking about well-built games and stuff. It's introducing things at the proper pace. So I think, yeah, it's a good point, Dave. I'm sure it's coming up probably sooner rather than later. You've been invaded.
Let's send our guys back to our main camp. Our now very reduced army.
So are you leaving this place with any defense? Do
Hell
they have just Malama farms?
Yeah. Got to protect the main base.
True.
Come on, come on, come on.
But they can, what, how do you produce warriors? I know you said it took a long time, but like, what's the building type that converts them
So that was the one I just built, which is this one right here.
Okay.
Which I got a couple dudes building it over here for me.
Obsidian 400-pound pickaxe.
Which I don't have a stone core, so I don't know where I'm going to get the stone from. I guess I have to send it via llama for my other civilization.
Yep.
Oh, fishing hut.
Wow, we've got to ship in rocks. Really? Can't just dig those up anywhere, huh?
Uh-uh.
These are my special rocks. Comes from this rocks pile.
There we go. All right, cool. Let's go back to go there and enter. Let's give it a little time. I'm going to speed time up a little bit, get some more workers.
Okay.
Okay, stuff's moving around.
Yeah,
these are traders, I think.
Oh. Okay.
And now we got to figure out what the hell to do with my trader. So there's my trader. Oh my God, look at all these little dudes.
They're ready for working.
Look at my minions.
All right, let's bump this up.
Bump it up.
That's what I'm talking about. Actually, let's do a little baby replenishment of some dudes that died. Is this another guy? That's my trader. All right, so let's see if I can send him somewhere.
Yeah, Andrew, I made the comparison to maybe Civilization earlier as well. That it's pretty involved. Yeah, this is certainly more involved than your Warcrafts or your Starcrafts or even your Command and Conquer.
Oh God. I can only send the trader there to attack them? That doesn't make much sense.
Covert op.
But just poison some of that llama meat.
I have no info.
Oh, you got to scout it, huh?
I guess, but I can't send. I don't know what this face does. Let's click this face. Oh, diplomacy. Cool. Alliance. I ain't giving you any money.
Alliance? You don't have any money.
They definitely shooed you in here where you have to like spread out
They
this
want you to
way.
push out. Yep, I was gonna say the same
Be in
thing.
contact with all of them.
Wait, okay, hold on. So in the middle of that orange, there's another tribe there that's not aligned with the orange?
Surrounded.
Yep.
Not for long, methinks.
Same thing with this little guy right here. Just one little city holding out.
Yeah.
Yes, Dwayne. We will most likely be playing Heroes of Might and Magic soon enough, sir. Great game.
So you can't hear it, but it gives me a little pan flute whenever I get another slave. There should be one extra one here. See if I got an unemployed.
Ah, yes.
25?
My new slave jingle.
Oh, the new slaves are in. By the way, kid, you're almost out of time. So, you got anything else you want to show the audience before we push to the segment?
No, this is pretty much it. From here on out, it is a tax simulator. It's basically a plantation simulator in the Incan Empire.
Yeah.
So you love it.
Best game.
Well, hey,
All right.
I'm glad we found that one. That's a super cool one to stumble upon.
Yeah. No doubt.
Yeah. Especially since this would have been a game I loved, but just had no idea it even existed. All right.
For
I'm gonna
sure.
exit out,
And
boys.
I was gonna say if you had seen it, I know for sure if you had seen that in the store, you would have gravitated towards it because the cover art's really cool. All right.
All right. If I stop sharing my screen bears, are going to mess with your thing.
It will, but 1 second. Let me just switch away. Yeah, why don't you stop sharing and then Slop, will you start sharing and then we'll be ready for our next.
Yes.
Yes. And go ahead.
And hurry up and come on. And what are you waiting for?
Oh yeah.
Let me know on the sound.
I can always mute it too. I'll mute it for now, but
Okay.
okay. Well,
I wanted to read this fun story time for Kevin down here. Kevin was playing some other strategy game and his folks were misbehaving and he took away their brothels and bars and gave them a bunch of churches.
Absolutely. Don't you dare. They rebelled against me. So my punitive punishment was fine. No more brothels. No more bars. No more fun. Everyone's going to sit in church. If you play nice, I'll give you your brothels back.
It's Kevin, the principal's office, right in the dictionary. We're cursed to relive it, to hand it down. Okay, so Nightmare Circus. Oh no, we're doing the segment. What am I talking about? Yeah, what am I? I'm just excited.
We're just going to talk a little bit about Thanksgiving, maybe a little bit more of a historical aim. We talked last week about Thanksgiving at school, or really the holidays at school and what it was like. And so this week we're just going to really talk about maybe the history of tribal peoples in the Americas and how the history that I was exposed to, at least, and I'm guessing these fellows were exposed to, is quite out of sync. I don't know about out of sync, but not comprehensive, maybe, with the experiences of indigenous peoples. So, Kev, why don't you, if you don't mind, just set the stage here for the chasm that is Western education of, indigenous peoples of the Americas versus the lived experience and actual boots on the ground kind of atrocities that took place.
Yeah, absolutely. So I think that nowadays they're getting better at trying to work that in. Like, hey, there's some bad things that also happened, but not for us. So it was quite shocking as a youngster learning about Thanksgiving. So the background is, I'll start at the Great Dying, as all horrific stories with Native peoples do. So the Great Dying was originally, the East Coast was populated heavily with Native Americans, so Indians. So there really wasn't any point of Europeans trying to settle there because it would be immediately wiped out. But traders were still coming in and they were still trading with Native peoples. And of course, disease spread, and that's the Great Dying. Over about a 3-year period, you're looking at it like a 90% population drop. A crazy amount of people died from disease. So in that time, of course, we all know the Puritans, pilgrims. So the Puritans leave England because they're being persecuted, go to the Netherlands, and they didn't like being in the Netherlands because their kids were becoming Dutch. So they're like, we got to get out of here. These horrific oranges and whatever the hell they were eating, carrots.
Clogs.
So they go to Clogs, yeah. And kids wearing wooden shoes. So they go to the king. King says, yeah, fine. Go to America. I don't care. There's nothing there. So they come to America. Don't have a great time. Of course, it's hard to just show up on a shore and start farming and all this kind of stuff. The king of the, and I'm never going to remember the name of it. I do remember in their language, what they called themselves, translated into our language, was like the New Light people, the Rising Light people, something along those lines. So the Rising Light people, their chief was smart and realized, like, hey, we have other tribes that are directly to the west of us that want to kill us immediately, and they weren't as affected as we were because they weren't in direct contact with Europeans. So maybe we shouldn't just immediately kill these people. Maybe we can trade with them, get some stuff off of them, and form some sort of alliance with them. And shockingly, they kind of do. There was a written treaty and everything. And they were really surprised when they showed up that the Rising Light people came out of the woodworks, and some of them spoke okay English. And one of the people who spoke okay English was, I can't believe I just blanked his name. Super famous Indian guy. Not Tonto. That's Lone Ranger.
He's super famous.
Squanto.
Okay.
Squanto. I was close. Squanto. So Squanto comes out and speaks damn near perfect English, and they were all shocked by this. Well, Squanto was a slave, abducted by the Spanish, sent to Spain. The story's a little muddled, but they think he gets sent over to England and kind of rescued a little bit by a Catholic friar. So in England, he learns English pretty well. Kumar, the famous Indian, gets sent over to England, then eventually gets back to his homeland, and where the Pilgrims had actually settled, the Puritans had actually settled, was his old village, which was completely decimated. He was the only survivor from that village. So he and the chief lets him live with them for a while to kind of show him the ropes of what to do. They think this guy's great. Squanto's awesome. He's basically a godsend. We need this dude. We can talk to our Indian neighbors, and he shows us how to farm and do everything and survive there. So after a couple of years, they're prospering, and they actually have a good harvest. So let's have a celebration. So they have the celebration, and while they're having the celebration, they're doing what white trash people do. They're firing off guns and cannons and all sorts of shit. And the chief hears this, and he's like, something's going on. So sends over 90 warriors, like, hey, go check out and see what these idiots are doing over there.
90?
90, which they would have wiped out the Puritans immediately. So they go there. They kind of are just on the outskirts. Everybody knows each other. They just want to make sure what's going on. The natives are hunting and doing what they normally do, foraging, because they're on campaign. So they're foraging, getting deer. There was some mingling back and forth, eating of food, sharing of food. So that's kind of where the legend of Thanksgiving comes from. The first recorded
how the
Thanksgiving.
Indians reacted to noticing coming upon these white people drunkenly firing their weapons into the air.
Savages is probably what they thought.
America.
These savages that have landed here drunk, or even America.
Jesus. Time travelers.
Yeah.
So that was the small time of peace where we get the Thanksgiving lore from.
Yeah, so it's like often with history, Kev. In this case, there's one singular example, which still doesn't look all that great for the white people, and that was exploded into its own narrative, which is pretty out of sync with the actual experiences of the indigenous people here. Again, as you accurately identified, most of them were killed with disease, essentially, just being exposed to Western diseases that they didn't have any immunities for. Yeah. Oh, by the way, just a sidebar note, a little bit of info for people. Some people don't know, what do I say? Indigenous? Do I say tribal? Do I say Indian? This sort of thing. That's up for debate. But in my experience, most tribal peoples in the Americas prefer Indian, actually. They even call it Indian country. They've embraced that part. So, yeah, they will call themselves Indian. They will, and a lot like Bureau of Indian Affairs, like they're cool with it. So that helps. Just a little bit of info.
Yeah. I'm speaking with our local-ish tribe here. Livingston, who recently started a casino, which is not vibing well with the Texas government. Yeah, after I spoke with some of them, they're like, "Yeah, Indian's fine. I don't care."
Yep. Yep. Yeah, that's another interesting thing too. That if you're a tribe and you're recognized, like federal recognition of tribal status is huge, because as soon as your tribe is recognized, its sovereignty is recognized, meaning that if you want to establish independent businesses, including casinos and other things, like you are generally allowed to. And I guess Kev's telling us about how maybe it's kind of, your smoker makes an interesting sound.
Oh, sorry.
Ears. No, it's cool. I just never heard it before. It's like making like a digital. I'm gonna kill Kev one puff at a time. The part about I guess maybe Indian country that I wanted to share briefly about, because it's not very long ago. I think another kind of misconception that I had, as Kev accurately outlined, like we had this one example, then that was created its own narrative, and as a kid it was all like, oh yeah, they all loved each other, that kind of stuff. Well, one thing that I learned about in the past few years are boarding schools, and how beginning in the 1850s, 1860s, it became expected practice to how do I say this, reprogram tribal peoples in the Americas, and it was done through boarding schools, which didn't really end until the early 80s. So this is not a long time ago. And the idea here is to, I think Kev knows this quote. It's like, kill the Indian,
save the man.
Yeah, save the man. So like they wanted to essentially eliminate all of the cultural information, all the practice, all the tradition, the language, all that was stripped away. And these children were often removed forcibly from their reservation or wherever lands they were on, and then immediately given names, like Western names. And I've heard stories of like them being lined up as kids, and then just like down the line, you're Anthony, you're Bob, you're Carl, you're Dylan, whatever. Like they would just give them a new name right there, and then strip their language. They weren't allowed to have their language. And so a lot of, again, tribal peoples, Indian country, they've lost some of their information because it was essentially illegal for them to practice any of that kind of stuff. So they've had to like rekindle that and do their best to bring it back online, but a lot of it was lost. And again, like we're talking about children being taken from their families, and cut their hair, wash their skin, all that kind of stuff. It's wild shit. If you ever want to look into it, scary.
Yeah, that was that short period of peace. Later, row. That short period of peace was immediately more white settlers started coming, more white settlers. So once the Puritans figured out, okay, we can do this on our own, their next goal, they immediately switched to conversion. That's what we have to do.
It's a combo, Kev. Kev's right. That's another important part. It's a combo. It wasn't just the government. The government was one arm of it. The other arm was Christianity, ultimately. They worked in collaboration because from the Christian perspective, they thought they were saving these people. From the government perspective, they were essentially like making it a more cohesive society in their perspective. Everyone's going to have the same language. We're going to have the same tradition. It's going to make it easier. Like no threats kind of a thing. So yeah, Kev, good point. Bringing that one in.
Yeah, I don't think that people would have accepted wholesale genocide, even though we kind of already started out that way. So their kind of workaround was, we'll kill the Indian, save the man.
And so our games today feature essentially like American Indian and South American indigenous characters and ideas, and that's why when Theocracy, how do we find it, Slop? I don't know, but the little synopsis line was like 100 years before the Spanish arrive in the Americas, can you get ready for their you have a prophecy? No, you can't fight disease, you don't got Louis Pasteur down there or whatever, Okay. Well, Slop, do you have any final thoughts maybe about your experience of learning about Thanksgiving and the truth behind it?
Well, one of the things we had talked about off mic, and it's it's the anyway. So we talk about pop culture and stuff a lot of the time, and to be honest, the Thanksgiving play scene from Adam's Family Values was honestly the first time that I'd ever been exposed to something that was closer to the truth. I grew up in the South. I was only about 10 at the time when the movie came out. So all the history I'd had up until that point was it literally was just Thanksgiving. That was the history of that time that we learned. That was it. Nothing before and nothing really after until, into high school, there was some of it, but not to any level of like just the synopsis that you boys gave right here was more than I had gotten in my entire grade school. Like, not even a joke, like that much.
I know, yeah.
But I did want to kind of tie it to the power that media and movies and books and now even YouTube videos can have, is they can bring a new idea into your brain, even if it's under the guise of comedy. Yeah, hilarious. That scene's forever hilarious, but it's still, that speech she gives makes it kind of makes the stuff in the background funnier, but it makes her speech like pretty powerful too. So I don't know, that's pretty disjointed, but I don't know. I maybe there's a good idea in there.
It's a great idea. I'm with you. I think that scene is actually very important because it's a lightning bolt against the kind of, established narrative or what had been established. And it's kind of wild, actually, how, Kev, maybe you could, we're getting off into a 7 talk, whatever. I want to hear Kev's take on this. But
Yeah.
So like the Germans, in a way, they truly embraced their history of Nazism, and I'm wondering, and I think it's a good thing ultimately for them, not to deny it and to pretend actually, but actually to fully embrace it, which I think maybe we are starting to do as Americans as well with the treatment of the American Indian. But yeah, so what kind of cost do we pay here, Kev, by 150 years of limited information, or maybe even propagandized, information? What do we miss out on as far as like us growing as humans and understanding things a little more deeply?
Yeah, I think the part that we miss is that there's a lot of nuance in history, and of course there were atrocities committed. There were warring tribes. There were relatively peaceful tribes. There were settlers who were just looking to escape and have a better life. There were settlers that were looking for to pillage the land and get whatever they could get off the people. And I don't care about these people. We're going to enslave them. We're going to do whatever we want with them. I think we miss the individual stories of history, that it can be hopeful in small spots. There could be a lot of atrocities that were committed. So I think we miss the nuances of history. And that is bad, because now we have this hallmark vision of Thanksgiving as opposed to the real true story of Thanksgiving, which shows that people all over were desperate and dying. And it's been a struggle throughout history. So for people just to be able to live. And if somebody gets one little leg up, they're immediately going to take advantage of it, which we've definitely moved away from now, which is definitely a good thing.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree with you. I think that's what we lose ultimately, is the full context. And one of the things that I've always, I think if I had to like kind of figure out what movies I really like and why, it's something as simple or as concise as, does the director, the writer, the producer, whatever, does the team making the movie, do they respect me enough to like make it complicated, make it interesting, make it nuanced, not just spoon-fed kind of a thing. And I think history is better that way as well. I think it's better when you get all perspectives, all takes, the good, the bad, because then instead of seeing yourself as the good guy, you see yourself as a human, which is all of those characters playing out. You can see yourself as the persecuted and the persecutor. So yeah, I think it's just a much more comprehensive and yeah, that rose colored kind of like you said thing. It kind of, I guess, in a way, it kind of gives me the Santa Claus vibes, where it's like when you do find out, like, wait, what? I was misled, or I was given just a very micro example that was stretched out. Then you become distrustful, you know? What else are they not telling me? And then that inspires conspiracy. So it's like, just give them the comprehensive truth.
Absolutely.
Let them know that, this is nuanced and difficult to wade through, but that's a good thing. We respect you enough. We respect your intelligence enough to be able to navigate this.
Yeah, what he said.
All right. Final thoughts before we move on to Nightmare Circus.
That's all I have. I'm gonna fumble into something if I keep rambling about it. So I'm fine to move along. I'm just stumble over my words and say something stupid.
That distrust bear has led to some good things where I no longer look for one source of history, multiple sources.
Yeah.
Like I went and studied the Hallmark version of Thanksgiving. I went and studied the modern American version of Thanksgiving, and then I found a couple of tribal organizations that put out like here's what as best as our history is handed down. What happened? And luckily, the new American history and the Native history are pretty dang close now. Surprisingly, pretty dang close. Like they agree upon the major points.
All right.
Good.
Cool.
Yeah, Dwayne. Foot in my mouth. That's my favorite thing to do.
All right. We're going to move on to
All right.
Nightmare Circus then, and I'm going to push this button, and then I'm going to unmute it. There she is. I will give, this time I actually have a little bit of information because I read some stuff that Slop sent me, but you can fill in the gaps. This game was originally not released for Genesis in the Americas, or anywhere, I guess. Then later it was finally released in Brazil, but it never got fully finished. And then they did also put it on their Sega Online thing in the Americas, and then people downloaded it, and it became a, not like a cult classic, I guess, according to that, but like people really liked a lot of the components of this game and the ideas of it, but it was also unfinished, so it's missing things. Is that about right, Slop?
Yeah, I've read more into it. I don't know necessarily if it's unfinished. Well, yeah, it is. It was canceled, so you're right. It wasn't finished. But they did release it in Brazil, physical release. That was the only country to get it. And they did, in total, I think it was maybe 3 months of Sega Channel, which was their online service. You could download the game. But it wasn't 3 months in one big brick. It was like 1 month at the end of 95, and then like 1 month in the summer of 96, and then like a couple of weeks randomly after that. And that was it. That was the only time. So that this game even got put, like, there was a ROM to exist to put on the internet is special.
By the way, so again, like, I don't know how Slop and I exactly stumbled into these two games for this week, but when I watched a long play of this, just a few seconds, like skipping around the video, I was like, this is incredible, man. It's so fucking cool. So yeah, I'm looking forward to this as well. I want to see Slop play it.
So just to manage expectations, I will do my best. I don't know how much we'll be able to see. Luckily, it has kind of a Mega Man style stage select, so I can at least reset and go to the different stages. It's a very, very complex game, super ambitious. Whether it hits all those marks, I guess we can decide as a family.
And you can see, of course, it's got clearly a tribal affiliated main character there, but it's also, again, like the Nightmare Circus part, the Carney part is definitely there. Like that's already weird for this era of game. Like him walking towards us, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, this is the menu. Yeah, this is foreground, background, little stage select here. The lore, the storyline real quick is You play. This is Raven. You play as Raven. He's from an undisclosed tribe. They don't name the tribe, out of Arizona. The opening night of a circus that I believe his family, they all work at. His family, everybody works at the circus. So everyone dies because there's a big fire.
God.
And come to find out that it was done on purpose for insurance money. So now it's like straight up haunted. And so Raven's come to say put the souls of his family to rest, to save them. And then it's somewhere in here it says that there is basically a demonic presence called the Jester that's somehow involved. So here we go. We'll go with the fun house first. Let me make sure I've got my controls pulled up, my cheat sheet for my controls over here real quick. Yep, there they are. I think this game also requires the 6-button controller for the Genesis.
Actually used all 6 buttons. That's a rare.
Okay. So what I did is I wrote down the buttons as they are supposed to be on the Genesis. So I've got, okay, block is C, interact is Z, and I didn't write down what that is on my controller. So it didn't fucking help me at all. Okay.
Block.
Yeah, there's
I do like
block.
that they put them in high heels.
It's we want him in boots. It's like, well, but it's not gonna look. It's a close.
Don't have enough pixels.
Yeah, but his
It's not
hands
enough
are
pixels.
like twice the size of his feet. Tiny boots. Also, you're on the right side of the screen heading left. That's different as well.
Yep. Oh, and I can climb this, apparently. I was just trying to jump. I can crawl. Nice flying kick.
Yeah.
And it lands.
Ooh, you've
and
got
has,
some
like,
good-
dust on the ground when you land.
That's some distance.
Fast.
Yeah,
Oh.
he's got some real mobility during a jump. Am I supposed to go up here? Yeah, right. If you're...
You have
This
to
is-
manually switch back and forth.
Yes, you do. And I'm trying to
Wow.
figure it out. So double tap
away.
is run, and you can exit the stage. You do have to turn around, so it treats it almost like a fighting game. Oh,
Okay, when you got hit, the little symbol at the top
Yeah.
middle got flashed.
no! What?
Nice.
Booted.
Oh, they only get dazed. You can't actually get rid of them.
Yeah, I don't think I can kill... Oh, wow.
Come on.
Top rope.
No, I think you can. I tried to watch...
They give you a lot of health. Stomp is in. There you go.
No! Give him the knee. Yeah.
God.
All right.
Yeah, they don't
All
seem
right.
to die.
This,
Okay. Yeah, this may not be the way to go.
they give you a lot of life, though.
Turn around. No, now you're on the wrong side. Can I not? Okay, here we go.
There we go.
Let's see what's up here. Gleek.
And we're in the big tent, it looks like. Oh boy, don't fall off this bad
Yeah,
boy.
we're going way up.
And the thing is, so this game is extremely cryptic to the point of it doesn't tell you anything. So it's less than cryptic. It's straight up
Confusing.
confusing. Like there's maybe no reason to even go up here ever in the game. You probably
okay.
don't even have to go up here to beat it at all. But they put it in to be like,
Oh god.
here they are.
I say we don't fight them too much.
All right. Oh,
Oh,
nope,
no.
that's probably a mistake.
And
Go.
wow, he's good at that.
And
we're
I- okay, so we'll try another stage. So on top of all the fighting moves that you can do, Bear, you saw the move list. It's more than like a Mortal Kombat character or Street Fighter character. That's how many different moves you can do, and they all require various inputs, the directional inputs, and button combinations.
Yeah, it's a
So-
combo. It's a combo. It's like a Hadouken. You have to do different
Right.
versions of those things to do your special moves, I guess.
And on top of that, there's and on top of that, there's like a magic system too. You have a spirit, an incorporeal psi, like power that you could do like spirit fireballs and stuff. And how do I even turn that on again? And I've lost it. Oh, mode plus Y. Mode button. It's probably this stay. Okay.
That is hard to look at.
Nope.
Oh, something's happening up top.
Oh, maybe I don't have. Oh, maybe I don't have any spirit yet because it's the blue. There's supposed to be a blue meter as well. I don't think I have any. Okay.
There's two blue orbs up there. Door?
Yeah, I think you're right, Kev.
Oh.
Or also
Right.
something to climb on, maybe?
Yeah. A ladder there. Uh-oh.
What the hell is that?
Okay. Well, I don't.
Oh, they're sentient cannons. Awesome.
Yeah, I like how, because it's a carnival and everyone's dead, I guess, they can really go wild with all kinds of zany stuff.
Yeah. Well, if I can
Climbing
climb it,
is
I
difficult.
don't know. I don't know how. Oh, whoa!
Cool.
Just gonna. No, I can't.
Okay.
Oh, that's what I want. I need that.
Yeah, that gave you those blue things Kev was talking about.
Perfect. I get. Yeah. All right. Now I need. Is it not? Maybe I don't have enough. Still.
Oh, they lit up and now they're
It
dark
lit up
again.
and then went off. Yeah, maybe it only when there are enemies around can you do it.
Oh. Maybe that's it then. See, all of this that no direction, even on the pages that we found. All right, to be in just the pixel perfect spot for the ladder. Okay, now I'm in a green room, on the green floor. That. Turn around. Turn around.
Moonwalking.
Turn around. Well, it looks like they can't turn around either. So.
Okay, you kissed it.
Okay, there's
Weird to
two
have
different-
doors that you can't go through.
Oh, you know what? Sorry, boys. 1 second here. I've been playing with the 3-button setup the whole time. That's why I couldn't hit my. Where is it? Still can't do it. Oh, I have to reset the
We'll-
game. So we'll do it after trying to beat this stage, or seeing how far we can get.
But yeah,
So
it's
now it lit up.
And now I'm in this room.
You got hit into it.
Yeah, that's a little annoying. Don't do push-ups.
Kissing the ground.
Turn around.
Backing that thing up into it. They give you a lot of health though.
Yeah,
I
they
know
do.
these controllers.
You're about to die, I think.
Yeah, I am.
What is
I
happening
can't
in the
do the
background?
healing move without the spirit mode, which I can't do because of the controller setup.
I say just restart it then, man. Let's
Yeah.
see the game for what it is.
All right. Not like we were very far.
Exactly.
So we went from a game that tells you nothing to Theocracy. There was like 20 tutorial movies in there
Right.
to teach you how to do this bureaucracy game.
True.
And there were video tutorials too, which is pretty cool. I don't remember seeing that very often back then.
Since we're in here, I'll point it out.
Tweaker.
There's a tweaker mode, and you turn that on, and it's a password system that affects apparently all kinds of things in the game. You can affect like the physics of the enemies, their spawn positions. You can change like health values, how many player characters there are, and people.
Wow.
The forums are like, who knows? Who knows what else it can do because there haven't been enough people to try and break the game apart yet. So it's still kind of a
Yeah.
mystery. what the tweaker mode even is.
Sounds like a developer mode almost.
Right, but the fact that you had to put in passwords even just makes it seem like why that extra level of encryption, It's like that makes it seem imply that it was an end user feature that they wanted you to access through, whatever means. But how would you ever get the codes? Maybe that's some of the stuff that never got implemented.
Beat the game, they give you a code for whatever the blah blah blah.
Yeah. Yeah, the music's interesting.
Yeah, it's interesting. It definitely goes with it. Okay, we're gonna try.
I think this is the Ferris wheel.
6-button mode here.
6-button mode. Whoop!
Awesome.
Oh my god.
What are the flaming bodies that are falling? I don't. Oh, he headbutted you. This is great.
I need to see where I'm going.
So
You have to jump.
all I could find out about this one is that you have to stay. So at the very bottom, you saw the fire, right?
Yeah.
You just have to stay out of the fire for a certain amount of time. Back elbow that fool off. Oh, I need to
It's that ground.
until the fire goes out, and then you can exit at the bottom. I need. I was on
took
fire.
a lot of life.
We're
I
trying
need
to
their
grab those
souls.
little
Oh,
ghosts.
yeah. So that's how you get some. Oh. Oh.
The colors change. Wow, that's it.
And I've gamed my last game.
Whoa.
So that's that. Yeah,
Just
one
restart?
life.
Oh.
Okay, so they do give
So
you a
that's
lot
why
of
I give
hits,
you-
but don't get in the fire.
That's it.
Right. Yeah. That was. That's on me. That's on me. I was doing well, and I guess I just. Maybe it's you have to kill a certain number of enemies before the fire goes out. I think that's what we're talking about here. I'm trying to pull up some of the other moves too. There's the back elbow. I got that one. Ah! And the headbutt. A lot of it's like proximity based, like which direction you're facing and how
Two of them now.
how close they are to you. I guess you just keep going back and forth. Whoa! Oh, apparently I'm still
God.
taking damage.
Just headbutt you.
Uppercut that fool. Nope, that's pause. I want.
All
Nope,
right.
this
Change colors.
is spirit mode. How do I do the health? Up. Whoop. Hold on. Sorry. Mode and up. Okay. Not working.
Like this.
I want that. I need that.
Okay, so you
Yeah,
kill a guy and then it turns into a ghost, and then you grab his spirit, and that goes somewhere. I'm trying to.
I feel like they give you a little warning. A little puff of smoke lets you know a dude's coming. Oh, nice.
Yeah, their ghosts or whatever fill up your spirit meter, which is the. Yeah, I'm trying to figure that out as well. I think it's the blue flames on the side of the red figure.
God. Yeah, I think you're right.
And then maybe you're right. Maybe I can only activate it when there are enemies around, though. Just committing suicide. And some knees.
God.
Ah,
A lot of
that
knees
makes
to
it
the
a lot.
groin.
Really evaporates. Knee in the balls so hard. Oh yeah, here we go. The fire.
Jesus.
Go.
Let's do-
Perfect.
There you go.
Oh,
Hey, you're
cool.
done.
How do I?
Why does he puke every now?
So that's This is my Z button, and I know that I have to use it to absorb a boss ability. So maybe some kind of primal scream,
Kirby.
basically. Like, how do I interact with the door? See here. Let's see.
Always a push up.
You can give him the old back kick.
I
Okay.
think the animations for the kicks are awesome, man. All of them, even the flying one.
Let me try.
It's going down. Oh, your health's going up.
Okay, so it is working. I just don't get any graphic. There's no feedback other than okay.
Oh, I do see it though. I see where your magic is now. It's on the sides of your.
Yeah.
Okay.
Kinda-
And went down as that went up. Okay. So when
I
you
don't know
kill
what
those
the orbs are,
spirits, that replenishes that blue part. Okay.
Right. I believe if you fill it all the way up, it fills up one of those orbs, and so you basically have another full bar.
Oh.
I like that. So it's not really like lives necessarily, but it's more like your mana recharging your life.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, you can got a down stomp. Okay, how do I just walk off the side? Yes.
Yep.
Okay. Ooh.
Ooh.
So that's closed. Oh, what?
I don't.
Are we on? Is he climbing?
What? How do I? Okay. All right.
I think they could have. Yeah, they probably should have programmed it toward his face. He's facing the other way. He would climb this way.
I believe we're on one of those spin machines. The force throws you to the outside. Yeah. No, don't go that way. Get.
Love of God, get me on the ground.
Now you're taking damage.
Oh, just dead?
That's it. Just
What?
dead. Just dead,
You
baby.
got spun out of the machine?
Hole and you
Yeah.
flew out.
I was trying to get to the floor, but of course that doesn't make sense because you're still spinning. I believe there's a door on the other side, so you have to just climb all the way around, and there's a switch to turn it off.
And that was like the second stage, or the second part of that stage, I guess.
Right.
Okay. Well, we are
Yeah,
at time.
most-
I don't know.
Yeah.
Okay.
Maybe we
See too
revisit
much.
it someday.
Yeah, we didn't get to see too much of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would recommend just go to YouTube and type in Nightmare Circus, and there's the World of Long Plays. Watch some of that because it's pretty cool what ends up happening later in the game. It's a trip.
Yeah. And then watch it, and also with the knowledge of there was nothing to tell you how to do any of that stuff. So I believe the guy figured the most that's been done, someone did a tool assisted run where they kind of break down via code how to beat the game. And that's all that's been done so far. So yeah,
So
another game
kids-
that's pretty obscure. And
Yeah, so kids in the late 90s that downloaded this in the States via the Sega online thing, they would have gotten no supplementary information, nothing. They would have just been launched into that. Okay. Wow.
Right.
Cool. All right. Well, let's move on to rating our games for today. All right, Kev. Obviously, Kev played a game. Is this the first time Kev played a game on the stream?
Yes.
I believe so.
All right, I love that. We'll probably do more of that. So, again, I love this freaking box art, but let's go, Kev. Game design for Theocracy.
So I'll start with the story because I think it has a really cool story that would draw you in. They put a lot of thought and time into it. Did a little actual historical research that this was a kind of true-ish event that they modified a little bit. So I think the story is really cool. That would have drawn me in immediately. The sound, I know y'all didn't hear the sound, so sorry about that. But the sound was really good. It was actually quite relaxing. It was birds tweeting, and every once in a while you get a little dude saying something. Oh, the hell, it's very Sims-like, but in some
Yeah, I love
sort
the
of-
Simlish style.
Yeah. I mean, shit, they may be speaking Incan. I have no idea, but
Huh?
it may be a real language they're speaking, but I doubt it. And the graphics were really good for the time. Strategy games have a lot of information, a lot of things happening on screens, so you would think for a 2000s game it doesn't look that great, but think in your mind all the stuff that's going on, and for 2000, I would have been perfectly happy with those graphics. Not mind-blowing, but serviceable. There's a lot of animations they had to do because you have, I don't know how many different workers there were. They all have to have their own animation. They all got to walk. There's a bunch of different soldier types. So I think they did really great with that. So I'm going to go with Far Out Man.
Okay. Slop, any additional info?
I was again, having known nothing about this game, I was leaning more towards Lieutenant Dan, but having not played it, I'm
Okay, I agree.
I agree
was
it
gonna
has
go
a lot of
Lieutenant
stuff.
Dan. Sorry, Kev. I know you
No, that's
actually
fine.
played it.
No, I was definitely happy with everything. Us not knowing about it, it is definitely surprising how good it is, and it's Ubisoft. So how did we not know about this?
Yeah, it's weird. Again, like the art is great, the story is great. I like Andrew commented as well. Like it's a way that they got around loading screens and other stuff. They just put lore in there, so you go to these different sections, and then really getting even in just a brief play that we did, you're getting a feel for just how big this world is and how much there's going to be to manage as you progress through the game. I find that really cool, actually, for a game like this. Plus, I like the real-time battle component, plus the pause the game build component that Kev mentioned. I like that. That's a good approach. All right, well, moving on to gameplay then, Kev. I think maybe this will be an area where you'll have even more feedback, maybe because you played a lot of these kind of games.
Yeah, so controls are pretty standard for the time. They require a lot of, and I actually tracked down the original handbook kind of thing. There's a lot of shortcut keys that you had to learn, and a lot of times in the books they would actually come with a print off of here's all your shortcut keys because you're going to need them, because managing it with just your mouse, you're going to spend all day doing it.
Be here forever.
Yeah, you're going to be here forever trying to do that. So for controls, I'd say they're relatively standard. They didn't reinvent the wheel for these games. It fit right in. I would have been at home and immediately know what I need to do, read that, figure it out, click through the thing. For level design, I'm kind of going back and forth on this because I get the point where most of the strategy games at the time, those little areas, the whole map would have been maybe one or two of those, and then you would try a different area through a totally different game. Meaning you'd start a new game to go from the US to Europe or wherever it was. They put the whole half a continent in there, which is cool. The levels all do kind of look the same, but they are all different with their own little challenges and areas you got to try to force your guys to go through. So I give them props for that. That wasn't a huge fan of how you have to send people back and forth, but again, they're just trying to find workarounds for the limitations at the time, so totally understandable. And I probably at the time, if it played it then, I wouldn't have thought anything about it. Feedback is kind of non-existent. It's not a platformer. So this one for me, for gameplay, is institutionalized.
Okay, I was thinking more Red's Rooftop, but I guess you're right. Maybe does it do again? Or is it just par for the course for this era of gaming and this kind of game, or is there anything they're doing that's better? Or
the thing they did that was better was give you the whole game all in one map. Like it is an attempt at a grand kind of 4X strategy game, as we call them now, where they're huge. It's a huge game. So that they did better than other games at the time, but man, I'm probably judging it a lot harsher than you guys would since I've played so many of these types of games. That has a lot of good elements, but
so maybe it's a Far Out Man then, because it does have some things that are unique, but I don't know.
We could go Far Out. I'd be fine with that. A couple of unique elements, and I do like the little mini missions. Those have been good for a quick play. So yeah, maybe you're right. Maybe Far Out Man.
Slop?
I would agree with the Far Out Man. I remember we were talking about like one of the other just little things that they did where it's when you send a unit to to take over something or to claim it, they automatically come back to you. So I'm sure there's maybe one or two of those other little things in there as well that would, just make the quality of life a little better while you're playing it, on top of the other stuff we already mentioned. So yeah, far out, man.
And the being able to organize your guys in groups in the later game. You just send the commander over there. He takes all the guys in there. You have them in the formation that you want. So yeah, that is a cool feature that I don't recall seeing in any other real time strategy. We actually have to use kind of tactics instead of just charge.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, or they take care of it for you.
Yeah, or they take care of it for you. And I couldn't find the screen to get into it, but you can actually create custom formations. It brings up a big grid pattern, and you can set your guys exactly how you want them. So that's cool.
Wow,
it is really
there you
cool.
go.
I would have played around with that a lot. If they had just a battle only feature, oh man, I would have spent a lot of time figuring out the best formations.
Cool. All right, on to satisfaction then, Kev. That folds in nicely. How satisfied were you with your experience here?
So I'm just going to come at it from a strategy game fan, not as a regular person jumping into this. Because a regular person jumping into this, I had to watch a 20-minute tutorial online, which there was only one, which is just a long clip of all of the tutorials in the game put in one section. Most people wouldn't find that fun. I didn't find it fun either. It's a drag to watch, but it's super helpful because a lot of games didn't give you that. So the fulfilling aspect is where this is where it's gonna run away, because it would be super fulfilling because you got to play these games for 5 hours before you feel like, okay, now I'm a civilization. We can go take some stuff over.
Mm-hmm.
That would be the fulfilling part. So that's where it's going to get high marks. I have a feeling it's going to be really fulfilling when you start seeing the other colors, when you start painting that map. I love to just paint that map, baby. It's going to be fulfilling. So I'm going to give this one a Red's Rooftop.
Okay. Again, like that. No, this component of the rating, Kev, you're rating it sort of against itself in a way. So you don't even have to be a super strategy fan, even though you are. But okay, Slop, what do you say?
Yeah, Red's Rooftop sounds right to me. It looks like I was not into this style of game as much as Kev, clearly, but I did enjoy it. I do like those aspects of all the aspects that this game has. Seems to do all of them very well, and it wouldn't be frustrating to play. But you get a lot of those elements. You get the sim element of running. You have to run your civilization and advance your progress, as well as expanding, as well as managing your resources. I could see sitting down.
Sorry, they were still doing a lot of. Oh God, just go ahead, Joe.
I can see myself sitting down for a couple hours and play a couple hours of this. Go ahead, Kev.
Okay, yeah. No, I was thinking at this point they're still pretty much learning how to do strategy games. Because in 2000, platformers had what, 25 years to figure it out.
Yeah,
and strategy games were not even close to that. So, got to give them a little pass on that.
Yeah.
Okay.
How to make a bureaucracy simulator fun.
I agree. I agree. It's just a strong game. Again, like from an outsider perspective, I didn't play a ton of these, but I like all of the highlights that you mentioned, Kev. I really like the textures and the art, the story, the fact that there's like named characters and heroes and stuff. That's cool. Like a lot of really cool stuff going on here. I could see myself getting enveloped by this game for many hours, which moves on to its gush. I'm feeling like if we own this, Kev, which I'm surprised we didn't actually, but I would have beaten it, I think. Yeah, I would have made sure. I wanted to like fill the map, as you said. Like I want to take over. I want to know what that's like. So I'm leaning into a 4 gush, but I could be outvoted.
If we had a half gush, it's an easy 3.5. I think I gotta say 3.
Okay.
It does everything right. I would have beat it, but it would not probably be a game that I would come back to today, other than to open it up, get a little nostalgia bump, and move along.
Well, that kind of puts it at a 4, Kev.
If you're gonna beat it, it's a 4.
Yeah. If you think you'd play all the way through it, that puts it in the 4 territory.
It's what gets high, engaging, and fulfilling marks. But all right.
Look, I know Kev would have beaten this game. There's no doubt. If we had this in 2000, he would have beaten it. So
I understand your reluctance, though. You've got a much bigger knowledge base of those real-time strategy games compared to me, for sure, and probably to Bear as well. So I understand you not wanting to put this. You've probably got in your head 3 or 4 you could name off that you would put above this game, and that's understandable. I would say probably 4 for this game as well. Like it checks a lot of boxes. I could dump hours into it, and then in a couple weeks beat it, and like, oh yeah, that was pretty cool. Like you said, it seems very laid back to actually play. So not stressful game is fun. It's what a middle-aged man looks for some these days.
Yeah, because I'm going through my Rolodex. Like Command and Conquer Red Alert is getting a 4. So is this better than Red Alert? No.
Right.
Age of Empires, that's getting a 4.
Wouldn't those both get 5s though, Kev? Because you played those a bunch. You beat them a bunch and played them over and over, repeated them.
Nothing gets a 5. There hasn't been one created yet. No.
Well, it's getting a 4, Kev. Sorry, because Slop and I voted it. So. Democracy.
Slaps his headset off, and
it's a good game. I think it's super cool. I would have, if you owned it, Kev, I would have, and I sat down with this, I would have beaten it. I would want to like take over the map. That was a good way to put it.
Paint that map.
All right, well, let's clear the board then, and we'll move on. Now, we didn't get to see a ton of this game, unfortunately, but here we are. Nightmare Circus. Game design, Joe.
It's very interesting. So yeah, this was on the Sega Genesis / Mega Drive, so 16-bit era game. I like the music. I did like the art, especially this kind of title page, and the menu or the stage select. I like the theme. They tied everything into the circus theme. The UI was really only your health bar at the top. That was the only kind of feedback you have on the screen. There's no time limit. There's no inventory of items. There's no collectibles. So it's unique in all of those ways for games, especially platformers. This was, kind of pretty much at the end of the Sega life cycle, which I think is why they canceled it. Is it just wouldn't, they projected that it wouldn't sell very well, and so they're like, well, we're not going to make cartridges for it. We kind of just whatever, we're eating the money on it. Give it to the Brazilians. So
yeah, why Brazil? Interesting.
Yeah. It's very interesting to pick Brazil. I'm sure there's a economic reason, but anyway. Story is I love my horror stuff. It's got a great horror element to it, and maybe the main reason we picked it. It's got the Indian background. It's got the Indian characters, Indian main character, and I like that they. I'm interested to look at the developer and see what they went on to do, because this doesn't have it. It seems to be a passion project, and because it doesn't look like any other game, right? It doesn't seem to try and fit into any of the boxes of games going on. Any game up to that point, I would say. Rambling. Oh, I'm still trying to decide how I actually feel about this game, because I've only played it a little bit this week, and I've started to like it more. But
could you get used to the controls? Because they're a little convoluted,
and maybe you'd have to play it a lot. The game invites playing it a lot. One, because you die so easily, or not so easily, but so definitively. Often. If you're dead, you're dead, and that's and there's no continues. So you kind of have to keep. I'm sure you would master them eventually. It's just a lot. I was barely able to figure out how to turn around reliably in the time that I played this week. Because again, everything seems so context sensitive. I think right now, I have to say, frustratingly neutral. That I might blow this game up. I don't know.
Okay. I'm going to step in because, again, I think when you watch the World of Long Pay video, I think game design is where this game is strongest, because not only does it have an interesting story that is a great little metaphor for, Indian peoples. There's a lot of interesting little things that the game is doing constantly, and it's different from a lot of its peers. So I think it's really strong in game design, and I think it suffers in the other two categories. So I see this as like a strong in the game design because they're like reaching for stuff that I had never seen a game do before in this era. But when you actually try to play it, it's like, wow, these controls are kind of fumbly. It's a lot to memorize, it's a lot to manage. And so I think it starts off strong in a way here, maybe. I see it as stronger on game design. So because of the novelty especially, for me, it might be either a Millionaire or a Lieutenant Dan.
Yeah, I want to amend that because I got to talking about gameplay, and that's where I was going with a kind of a spoiler on the next one. Then I agree. The design of it is, it's very surprising. Yeah, I'm Lieutenant Dan on the game design. The
I like
graphics
that.
sound. Yeah,
Yeah,
that sounds
game
good.
design is wacky and interesting and awesome. So kudos to them for trying something.
Yeah.
Now we'll move. Okay, so we agree.
swing.
Like it's doing stuff. Like the music was even cool. They're folding in like the circus stuff, even in the music. They got the lore. They got a main character that's interesting. I love the way that they did like the animations and stuff. Like I said, the kick was so smooth. Like you're fast too. Like a lot of the games we play, you're too slow. So that part's really neat. Gameplay, and especially maybe the controls. That's where I think this game is going to struggle a bit. So what do you think of her gameplay, Slot?
Right. Yeah, the controls are kind of the big.
Your mic is not on.
Uh-oh.
I don't hear you unless Kev does.
Hello? Am I
No,
back?
Not hearing you.
Right here.
Kev hears you, but I don't.
Oh no. What happened?
Oh.
Come on. Hop on. Here, I'll call you, and then we can.
Just run upstairs
Well,
real quick,
the stream
Joe.
can hear you. I see your levels, but for some reason
Okay.
I can't hear you guys. So I might have to like reset my mic really fast or something.
Or just raise your hand when you want to talk, and we'll be quiet.
He's gonna do this, and then it's gonna be totally. Yeah, he's not gonna hear anything. See you later, Dwayne.
Bye, Dwayne.
All right. Huh.
No luck. No. Okay, well, I'll point at the screen then when I'm done talking.
Back to you.
You're right. Well, anyway, yeah, the controls are the thing that's going to hold this up, the big hitch, because they're very complex, and again, I like it's very ambitious to give you this wide range of attacks and things you can do. But on the flip side, you have to make it so that I can do them. I can't do most of the moves that are listed anyway.
Yeah.
So what's the point of having all of that mobility if I can't? It doesn't do it.
It's like they're trying to bring in Street Fighter controls into a side-scrolling beat 'em up, which is ambitious and awesome. Like if you could get a Taika Kick kick in there,
right?
But it seems difficult.
Yeah, you have a double jump move. It's like a midair backflip. So you jump backwards and up, so you can use it to get to platforms and stuff. But I could never pull it off. At least the way it's defined on the website that was down for half the time that I sent it to Bear for him to try and read, and I had to go do the Wayback Machine to find an archive version.
Wow.
But anyway,
awesome.
So yeah, just all around, it's it's just very esoteric. I mean, you'd have to play it for, again, like the guy that did the long play video and a couple of kids that really sat down to figure some of the stuff out. But outside of that, how long do you have to play it before you really know how this game works and what it can do? That's okay. That's controls.
That's just controls.
By the way, I'm back. I hear you guys again. I just had to reset my mic so I can hear you.
Okay, good.
All right.
The level design is, again, really interesting. They did a lot of interesting stuff. You've got a lot of verticality, as well as left and right. The very first one, the default, I guess, the fun house that it starts you on is before you move. If you pick that as your first stage, it starts you on the very right-hand side of the screen, and you've got to go to the left. That's again, very unique for. It's hard to call this yet just like a platformer. I don't think you could call this just a platformer because of all the conventions that it breaks. The feedback is not great. One of the big things was trying to figure out if I was healing myself or not. I couldn't figure out. Well, the first part was on me. That was emulation problems. But then once I got the controller working as it should, like, am I healing myself? Having to watch the health bar go blip up in pixels. Oh yeah, while there are enemies jumping around. That's not not helpful. And again, some of the stuff we can point to. Well, they didn't really get to finish it. Maybe the stuff would have been ironed out, but judging it with what we have, it's a little lacking there.
Okay. Did you assign a rating to it quite yet on gameplay? Did you pitch anything?
No, I am going to. This is where I'm going to go frustratingly neutral. Because to Kev's point, maybe once you play a little more and the controls become a little more instinctual, second nature, it wouldn't be as frustrating to play. But again, like, it's kind of on them to fix that before it gets to me. But again, it's not finished. So hard to, don't want to be too harsh, but
I think you're right. It is frustratingly neutral. And maybe, because I guess it's you technically could learn the controls well enough to manage the game, but it's going to be an uphill battle. Yeah.
High five, Kev.
I'm trying to get my
I know.
One day we'll get enough subscribers to buy Kev a
Christmas
camera.
Is coming up.
All right, moving on to Satisfaction. Slop, what do you think? How satisfying was your nightmare experience?
I will say so far, it hasn't been great. Just trying to, but again, I don't know if that's really the game's fault. It's I need a manual. I need some official documentation, something to kickstart it. Give me a little bit to start on. That's probably the most frustrating part. So, man, I think maybe a T2 Smile is I feel like it's got a lot that would be, again, maybe treating it as a weekend rental using that framework. It would be fun to like figure out with somebody, or even on your own, trying to figure out get a little further. But yeah,
I like the way you just framed that. I think this game, if Kev and I had the opportunity to rent it, which we wouldn't have because we didn't have a Genesis and it wasn't available, but if we had, I think we would have rented it, played it for the entire weekend, and right as we have to return it, like, started to get it, started to really get it. So, yeah, I think a T2 Smile makes sense there. Kev?
Agreed. Yeah, absolutely.
All right. Nice. So, interesting game. It's really reaching for some stuff that we don't see a lot or ever, I guess, in a way. And so final component, of course, is the gush. This one is going to be an odd one, I think, as well. Because we got some strength here, some big strength, but also some Yeah, what do you say, Slop?
I think in its current form, with all of the limited information we have to play it, I think I have to give it a 2. If you know, in a couple of years, if for whatever reason this becomes a big underground hit, like a big streamer plays this game, it could kind of take off and spark interest in it, and come back in a couple of years, and you know, you've got your walkthroughs, you've got patches, you've got game mods and expansions for it. Who knows? So it's got potential, but I think right now it's just going to be a 2 for me.
Yeah, it seemed a little, especially on just, and it's not really the developer's fault that it was canceled.
Yeah.
It just seems unpolished, so it's going to have to be a 2 unless, like you said, we get some crazy late day patches for it.
Right.
Yeah, I'll agree with you guys. I do think it's probably actually a 3. Like thinking if you had rented it or bought it or something and played it a bunch, you would have figured it out. I mean, I know that Kevin and I would have figured it out eventually. It wouldn't have got to the point where we gave up, but it's a lot to manage, and you need a community to support this game and help navigate it and figure out what's going on. So we'll give it a 2. A strong 2. An interesting 2.
It also looks like the Genesis was released super late in Brazil, so that's why it was still a
viable.
reasonably new system. Yeah.
That's why. Okay. All right. Well, we're a little over time, but that's okay. Are we good for next week, fellas?
Yes, I am.
I think I am as well. So, final thoughts before we send ourselves away.
We expel ourselves. No, hope everyone ate a lot of good food this past week. I know I'm still eating good food, probably too much good food.
About to go eat a turkey leg, a smoked turkey leg, my favorite.
There you go. And I think for this episode, I learned that it's fun to watch Kev play games too. And I think I'll be voting for more of that on occasion as well. And again, we talked about it last week. We talked about it this week. So go watch Adam's Family Values Thanksgiving play scene. It's remarkable and excellent performance by Christina Ricci. So go watch it.
Fantastic. Good.
All right. We will see you next week with another St. Kohzee special. And okay then. Bye-bye now.
Comfy, cozy, comfy.
Saturday morning with my cartoon.
So cozy.
Tamagotchi's fed and snoozed.
St. Cozy.
Got 3 days till my rental's due.
So comfy.
Left my homework at school. Alright, PJs, check.
So cozy.
Mixing bowl of cereal, check.
St. Cozy.
Toy commercial absorption memories, check.
So comfy.
Alright, boys, here we go.
16 bits of have mercy, y'all.